What is the experience of women going through the back door? For this reason, I privately interviewed 6 women who had experience. Let's see what they all said. First, Ms. Wang, 28 years old. She said that when I was on my period, he suggested that since I couldn't have sex in the conventional way, I could choose to enter through the back door. To be honest, this was the first time I heard about the back door, and I knew nothing about it, so I could only listen to him. Then I went through the back door with him during my period. This was my first time experiencing the back door. I can't describe the feeling clearly. I can only say it was a strange and uncomfortable feeling. That time I told him directly how I felt, and he said that it might be because I was not used to the back door for the first time. As time goes by, I will gradually get used to and feel comfortable. After that, whenever I couldn't have sex in the conventional way recently, he went through the back door, and I never refused. However, as the number of back door visits increased, I began to feel obvious pain in my buttocks and various problems below. In the end, I was diagnosed with large incontinence and several gynecological diseases. When I told him the result, do you know what the first question he asked was? He asked me if it would affect pregnancy and answered that it would have some effect. He immediately proposed a breakup without hesitation. Second, Miss Ma, 30 years old. She said that the first time he proposed to go through the back door, I refused. I don't know why I refused, but I just felt that it didn't seem good to do so. But he didn't give up. Knowing that I was soft-hearted, he kept talking about popular science, saying that there was no harm in going through the back door, and asked me to try it. I am a person with no opinion and very soft-hearted. After he said that, I agreed to try it. The first time was okay. I can't say it was comfortable, but it wasn't very uncomfortable, and it wasn't to the stage that I rejected it. As a result, one time when I went through the back door, I suddenly had a lot of blood on my butt because I had hemorrhoids. Not long after it healed, he proposed to go through the back door again. I asked him, didn't you hear what the doctor said? Don't you consider my body? He said that doctors love to exaggerate, and I believe whatever they say, and he also said that my body is now healed. I was very disappointed with him. Third, Miss Shuang, 36 years old. She said that during the days of love, I promised him that I could try the back door, which became a way for us to enjoy together. As we entered marriage, every intimate contact intertwined the normal way with the back door. However, more often, we chose the back door because he had long been accustomed to this mode of married life, and he felt that it was more exciting than ordinary intimacy. I got pregnant only half a year after marriage. Because my pregnancy reaction was not strong and my physical condition was quite good, we still went through the back door when we had sex. However, after another extremely intense back door attempt, I felt a burst of pain in my lower abdomen. At that time, I didn't pay much attention to my lack of knowledge, thinking that it was just a short-term pain and I could just endure it. However, the next day, the pain was so strong that I couldn't bear it, so I went to the hospital. When I walked into the hospital for an examination, the result told me that the child could not be saved. I should have been the saddest person, but after he learned the news, he didn't ask any questions or understand anything. He just blamed me directly for being so incompetent that I couldn't even keep a child. When I handed him the medical report, he didn't apologize to me or comfort me. At that moment, my heart was completely cold. I was thinking, what did I get from this marriage? How should I continue? At that moment, I decided to end our heartbreaking marriage. Fourth, Leona is 33 years old. She said that my butt was really uncomfortable that time, so I rejected him. He said, since I don't feel comfortable and don't want to, then don't go through the back door. As a result, after halfway through, he asked me to turn around. I thought he was just changing his posture, but he took advantage of me not paying attention and suddenly entered my back door. At that moment, I felt very painful, and I told him loudly. He pretended not to hear and continued to do his own thing, but used more force. After that, I was exhausted. My forehead was sweating a lot, my face was pale, and the pain there was unbearable. I knew I had to go to the hospital, otherwise I would die of pain. When he saw me like this, he said to me indifferently, I feel a little uncomfortable, so you should rest early. I will play games. At that moment, I decided to break up because I saw through this man, unless I still want to live like this in the future. That night, I dragged my heavy body and took a taxi to the hospital alone, feeling ridiculous. Although I bled a lot, fortunately the tear was not too serious. I can take some medicine and rest for a few days and it will slowly get better. Ms. Zhang is 28 years old. She said that we also went through the back door several times before because we thought we could try it, and we would talk about it if we didn't feel comfortable. After trying it, I felt uncomfortable, and I told him at the time. So when he proposed to go through the back door later, I directly rejected him. But he actually asked me why, and I said I just didn't want to, and I told you before. I don't know why, but he suddenly got very angry and said that since I had this attitude, there was no need for us to be together. Yes, you heard it right. He thought that since I agreed to go through the back door with him before, I should agree unconditionally every time for the rest. How could I refuse and have my own ideas? I feel sick when I think about my boyfriend who broke up with me because he didn't want to go through the back door. I don't know what he thinks of me. If I cooperate with him, I am a good girlfriend, and if I don't cooperate, I am a bad girlfriend. I don't know how his next girlfriend will be harmed by him. I just hope that his future girlfriends will be smarter. Sixth myth. Gong is 31 years old. She said that when he first proposed to go through the back door, he assured me that going through the back door was different from regular After all, it would not lead to pregnancy, so there was no need to use any protection measures. I was so naive at that time. He said to go through the back door, so I went through the back door. He said that no protection was needed, so I let down my guard. That was my first backdoor experience. I had no idea how other women felt, but I felt great discomfort and even pain. He comforted me, stroked my head, and said that everything needed an adaptation process and he would be more careful. Under his comfort, my heart was warm and I fell into his skin. As a result, the frequency of our backdoor entry far exceeded the regular intimate behavior. It was not until later that I learned that he frequently dated strange women behind my back, messed around, and then went backdoor with me without using protection. In this case, I suffer from a disease. I will not go into details about what kind of disease it was. Although it is possible to cure it, it will take a long time. I used to think that this disease was very far away from me and could not invade my life, but now it really appeared in me. Although I don't want to believe it, it is true. Regarding the above lady's explanation, I think that in this flashy and complicated world, the physical pleasure between men and women brings that momentary joy, but also brings many unknown risks. As one of the ways, the risk of going backdoor is much greater than most people imagine. The first risk of backdoor sex is the possibility of infection. Rectal disease is undoubtedly a good place for pathogens to invade. Because the repairability of the anal area is not as good as that of the vagina once trauma occurs, the difficulty in time of repair will increase. In addition, the anus lacks natural lubrication, and excessive friction may cause anal fissures, anal fistulas, and other problems, and even cause rupture of the rectal wall, which is life-threatening. Therefore, for backdoor sex, it is important to pay attention to the following points. First of all, safety measures are indispensable no matter when unaware. For example, using condoms can reduce the spread of pathogens. Secondly, use enough lubricants to reduce the possibility of rectal injury. Furthermore, it should be done with the consent of both parties, respect each other's feelings, and don't let the relationship become a one-sided demand. The beautiful joy of men and women is first based on mutual respect and understanding. It is not just physical contact, but also the communication of souls. Every touch, every friction is full of tenderness and care. Every kiss, every hug is to express your love to each other. In this process, no one is a pure giver and no one is a pure receiver. Every time it happens, it is a fusion of the soul. In this fusion, both men and women can be satisfied and happy. Men are not only seeking physical satisfaction, but also seeking confirmation and affirmation of themselves. And women are not only seeking physical happiness, but also seeking understanding and respect for themselves. Therefore, beautiful sex is by no means a simple physical contact. It is a deep soul communication.